What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Another video means another dopamine high because of the buy side that feels something, and today we're back at it with another review. And now I would say a rapid review because of my current situation, but it seems like from the last video that these reviews aren't going to be as short as I thought, which I'm happy about because I love giving y'all as much information as possible in these videos, because in my head I thought these rapid reviews were going to be much shorter and just a quicker formatted video compared to my typical reviews. But from what I'm seeing from the last video is that these reviews are just going to be my normal reviews, but the size comparison segment is cut out and some corners are cut because I don't have access to my entire collection. So if I wanted to compare one figure to another, I'm not completely capable of doing that. But I've talked about this all before, and I'm now starting to think that update video was all for nothing, seeing that I thought that these rapid reviews were going to be very much different from my typical content. But that's pretty much all I'm going to say on it for now. I don't want to take away too much from today's video. I'd rather save all this for a update video or a community post or something of that nature. So yeah, let me move away from that and actually on the main focus of the video. So like I said in the beginning of the video, today's video is a review. So for today's review, we are taking a look at Hasbro's Star Wars The Black Series Mandalorian Privateer from the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. And for those wondering the significance of this character to The Mandalorian, he is literally just a background Mandalorian that we see in the show. I only found one clear photo of him off to the right side of the photo. There he is. I couldn't find any other clear images, so literally Hasbro was like, yep, that guy, we're getting a figure of him. And you know what, I love me my Mandalorians, I love me my ground troops with helmets in Star Wars. It's got to be one of my favorite things that franchise has ever given the world, and I'm all for it. And yes, this figure might just be reusing the Axe Wolves mold, but who cares? More Mandalorians is always a good thing. And at any point during or after the video, you do realize you want to pick up this figure for yourself, there's only one place that you can get this figure from their retail stock location, and that is Target. For this figure is a Target exclusive going for $24.99. So I will leave a link in the description of the video for if at any point during or after you realize you want to pick up this figure for yourself. And after that, with everything said, I think we can move on to opening up the figure. So starting off, this is the new packaging that we saw come out earlier this year, and it is looking really good. We have the Mandalorian color scheme, the title on the side right there with his number, and then it looks like everything is included that should be. So good to see that. On the side we have a nice little portrait of our character, and on the back we have some background information of what's he all about with another portrait of him. And on this side there's nothing really going on. But after that, I think this is some solid packaging. I think this is my favorite one so far. Not that I'm a Black Series packaging connoisseur, I just really like how they handled this. So with that said, let's open this bad boy up. I know this is the second video of me doing this, but I really like doing the visual presentation before the articulation. I don't know, it's just my brain the right way, so we're gonna do that from now on. Now I just want to come out the gates just straight out admitting that I thought that this was an Axe Wolves figure just painted a different color. I did not realize that there were some minor differences. Now I will admit that these differences are so minor that this is pretty much the same figure. It acts the same way, it comes with the same accessories. There isn't that much different between the two figures. Not to deter you from purchasing either figure, it's just that these are the facts. So I just wanted to put that out there. But where I got confused with the visual presentation was the fact that Axe Wolves and this figure both have a stripe that go around the helmet. Granted, Axe Wolves is a little higher than the Privateers. The Privateer's stripe starts right at the brim of the visor. So I don't know if that's what really fucked me up, but after closer inspection, if you look at their shoulder area, the armor that wraps kind of around their neck and then into their chest piece is different. The belt buckle is different, and their boots are different. But after that, I thought these were the same exact figure, just painted different colors, and that almost deterred me from purchasing this figure because I don't like buying repaints unless it's Boba Fett for some fucking reason. But with all that comparing now out of the way, I think the Mandalorian Privateer looks really good on his own, despite him reusing parts from previous Mandalorian figures. And not to discredit Hasbro, but obviously the design of this character was made before the figure, and I do think Hasbro did a good job at translating the on-screen appearance to the figure appearance. I really like the colors with the bright blue and the light gray and the brown from the leather really just playing and contrasting with each other. There's something just about it that just tickles my brain right. But after the colors, I think Hasbro again did a great job from translating the on-screen appearance to the figure appearance. I really like the sculpt work. They really did get down as many details as they possibly could. I really appreciate with the undersuit they did sculpt in wrinkles to make that plastic look like fabric. And another thing that I really do like that they added throughout the figure's design is some wear and tear, some scratches. If you've seen any of my videos covering a soldier or warrior in armor, which is all my videos pretty much, I really like it when the manufacturer adds some level of weathering or just battle damage or grit, something to just give the figure more character, and Hasbro did do that throughout the design of the figure, so very happy to see that there. Now, I'm no genius, but putting my bias aside, I feel like most people would agree that Hasbro did objectively a good job with this figure. Nothing looks off or weird or like messy. It looks like a clean and concise interpretation of the Mandalorian Privateer. But at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We like to disagree with each other for the sake of disagreeing with each other. So if you have a different take or interpretation on the visual presentation of this figure, please let me know in the comment section below. I like picking y'all's brains. I like seeing different perspectives. I like hearing from y'all. And obviously, I like talking about this stuff. So I will indefinitely respond to any comments that y'all give me. But again, at the end of the day, I think Hasbro knocked it out of the park with this figure's visuals. Starting off for head articulation, we can rotate the head 360 degrees, which is always nice to see. And then we can have our privateer look up and down a decent amount as well, while also being able to sway his head side to side as well. And because of those ranges of articulation and the ball joint in his head, he can move his head around in a spherical range of motion. And what also helps with the head articulation is that the neck is articulated as well, also on a ball joint. And getting into arm articulation, we can rotate the arm up and over, not a full 360 degrees because of the shoulder plating, but the range is still really good nonetheless. And then the arm can come up and down a decent amount as well. And then from the shoulder joint, we can spin the arm 360 degrees as well. And you can also independently rotate the elbow joint 360 degrees as well. Holy shit, I need to stop saying as well. So going to the elbow bend, the bend is pretty good. I am happy with the range that we are given. And then finally for the hand, we can rotate it 360 degrees and bend the wrist however we please. And then moving over to the torso, we can rotate the torso 360 degrees, which is always nice. And we're given some decent range going back and forth with the torso bend. And the same can be said about the range when swaying side to side with the torso. And with all this range at play, we are able to move the torso in a spherical motion, which is good because that means we can display our figure in a variety of different poses. And then finishing off with the legs, starting off with the rotation, you can't get a full 360 degree rotation, which isn't anything to complain about because the range is still really good nonetheless. But you can rotate the thigh 360 degrees, which allows for better pivoting and balancing. And when it comes to the splittage, you can't get a full split out of the figure, but there is still lots of range nonetheless. And then moving down, you can rotate the lower half of the leg independently from the upper half, starting at the knee. And then moving over to the knee bend on this figure is good. It's not the best in the Black Series, but you are still granted tons of range. So if you want to display your figure in a variety of action poses, you can do so. And then moving to the boot, you can rotate the boot 360 degrees and bend the ankle however you please. But my thoughts on the articulation for this figure is that they're pretty good. I don't have any issues on this figure's articulation. I don't think anything felt whack or out of place or too loose or too tight. Everything felt great. Not to overpraise this figures articulation, because by no means does it reinvent the wheel or surpass the bar. This is pretty standard Black Series articulation, which is good. So Hasbro was set out to do a job. They did it, and I'm happy with it. So yeah, good job, Hasbro. Kicking off this segment with the one feature that is built into the figure, and that is the range finder. This is a classic Mandalorian accessory, and it just goes up and down, nothing too crazy or complicated. And then for our first accessory, we have the jetpack, and you'll have zero complaints from me from the visuals. I think it looks pretty good, and this is obviously like any other jetpack in the Black Series. You just plug it in the back of the figure and it sits in nice and snug. It will not be coming out anytime soon by accident, and like most jetpacks in the Black Series, you can swivel the thrusters back and forth, so if you want to coordinate them with how you are displaying your figure, you can do that. If you do have the deluxe Return of the Jedi Boba Fett that comes with the thruster effects, you can put those thrusters on this guy's jetpack. I really like how Hasbro is incorporating that with all of the newer jetpacks in the Black Series. I just wish they would include the thruster effects with figures that can do this, rather than hoping you have the deluxe Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. And as for the blaster included, we do get the Westar 35 blaster pistol, and starting off with its visual presentation, it isn't the most crazy thing in the world, but it's not bad either. As for the paint job, it's all the same color. Granted, its on-screen appearance isn't that far off. It doesn't really have that much color variation to begin with. And as for the sculpt work, it's pretty good. All the crucial parts of the blaster are sculpted on there. So overall, pretty happy with how this blaster looks, and we only get one of these, and there is a holster on our guy, so if you do want to have this weapon holstered and have him hold something else, you can do that. And here we are at the thoughts and discussion segment of the video, aka the turntable segment of the video. This is pretty much where I go over what I like, dislike, pros, cons, strengths, weaknesses, and just give my general thoughts and opinions on the figure at hand. Typically in every video, I kick off the segment with the negatives just to get the sour stuff out of the way. And honestly, I can't really find anything wrong with the figure itself. I'm happy with the visual presentation and the articulation. If there was anything that I could add to, the negatives, or something that isn't a complete positive, is I just wish there was more included with the figure, because like I mentioned earlier, the jetpack can take the deluxe Return of the Jedi Boba Fett thrusters, and I wish that was something Hasbro would normalize with any figure that has the jetpack that can take those thruster effects. I feel like that would actually encourage people to buy more Black Series figures that come with jetpacks, especially the nameless foot soldiers such as this figure. And if I were to add one more thing to this figure, it'd be another blaster, maybe the Death Watch blaster rifle, just to kind of give him something to hold if you want his pistol holstered. Besides wanting to see those two things, there's nothing really else I can add. I feel like Hasbro gave us a solid release with this figure, and I would go more in depth on the pros, but I've kind of done that throughout this entire video. So just to kind of reinstate what I said, this is a solid looking figure, no issue with the visuals, the articulation feels great. It doesn't reinvent the wheel by any means, but it is solid. Like I said, Hasbro was set out to do a job, and they did it, so good on them. And as for the accessories, despite wanting more from this figure, what we are given is good, so I'm not going to throw a fit over that. So if you are looking to scratch that Black Series itch and just pick up a overall good Black Series figure, I would highly recommend this one. Or even if you're just looking to pick up a figure that you can appreciate the quality of, this is a pretty good figure to do that with. By no means is this the best Black Series figure that we've gotten. That is saved for the Glavis Ringworld Mando, because that is peak Black Series in my opinion. But again, this is a pretty good figure, and I do recommend picking him up if you do have the chance. And here we are at the outro segment of the video, and one thing I want to say before I do the whole do XYZ, if you really liked this video, was say that I really enjoyed making this video. This video was kind of refreshing. I know this isn't the most exciting Black Series figure to review. It is just a nameless Mandalorian at the end of the day, but something about this just kind of made me feel good about making content again, and it kind of showed me that despite my situation and what I've got going on, I can still make content for y'all. So maybe this was the push that I needed to just get over my current situation and just get back to the grind. And yeah, I get it, I'm saying this after reviewing a not so exciting Black Series figure, but you know what, I know this video isn't going to do too well, but I don't care because I enjoyed making it. And if you did enjoy today's video, a like and a subscription would be much appreciated. And then as for the comments, don't worry about it, I understand it's a lot of effort moving your fingers, but if you do want to bounce off anything I did say throughout the video, you are more than welcome to, and I will most likely reply to your comments because I love talking about this stuff. And don't worry about the bell, we both know that shit is broken. And with all that said, if you want to see more content like this, there's plenty of it up on the channel. I do Star Wars, obviously, I also review Halo, I do Alien, Predator, Alien versus Predator, and I'm starting to dabble into the Warhammer 40k stuff. So if any of that does interest you, you're more than welcome to go check it out. And with all that said, please have an amazing day and stay hydrated, it's important.